Hello, welcome to Check In with SJ. I'm SJ, and I'm glad you're here today. Today is a Sunday. I worked last night, I'm off today. I started to say good morning, but it's not morning, it's mid afternoon. Yeah, sometimes my first day off after a couple of days of working, um, I'm moving at the speed of a slug, very slowly. I was on my way home from work last night, driving home, and my legs started hurting so badly. I had to pull off on the side of the road a while just to flex my legs and get enough blood flow to them to drive on home and wobble in the house. I've had a personal history of problems with leg circulation, and my doctor had told me it's very important that I walk at least 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Simple enough. And I was doing really well at that until this sub-freezing temperature set in. And I just did not get up and get out in time to walk. I have tried walking parking lots, and I enjoy that. I can walk the big parking lot where I work and before checking in. I go sometimes to the Lowe's home improvement store and walk up and down the aisle. Two things I get done. I get my 45 minutes in just by walking up and down the aisles about twice. Another thing, I enjoy going through that store and seeing what they have that I think, ooh, I need to put that on my list. Oh, I want one of those. Ooh, I need a bunch of that. But I just haven't. And so I've started having more leg pain again. Well, I got to thinking about that of, oh, it's not my fault. It's the temperature's fault. Do you know what? Nah, it's my fault. I have to take ownership of that. It is my personal responsibility to take care of myself, especially when it's something as simple as walking, putting one leg in front of another. Now, the neighborhood where I live is all hills and mountains, and it's hard to walk there. But there are plenty of school tracks, downtown sidewalks, big stores, plenty of excuses and places to walk. I just didn't want to get cold. I didn't want to get out in the cold and be uncomfortable. So instead, I stayed home, and now I'll be starting all over on my routine. So, what is personal responsibility? And how do we decide when something is our own responsibility and the cause of someone else? That can be tricky, can't it? We say, oh, well, it's not my fault. So and so did this to me when I was a child. It's not my fault. The weather's bad. I didn't have the money to do that. I didn't feel like it. Yeah, I felt bad, so that was it. That's still not taking personal responsibility. So I've decided for the next few videos, we're going to talk about personal responsibility, what it is and what it isn't. What are we responsible for? When is it most important that we realize, hey, that's not our call. We're not going to change that. There are people in our area of Western North Carolina who are still severely affected by the flooding and the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. I don't see anything those people could have done to change the outcome of a massive hurricane coming through the mountains. There were people who didn't have flood insurance because in the mankind's history, they've never known of their particular area being flooded. It was bizarre. That was something beyond human control. That is what insurance companies often call an act of God. Okay, so that's something that they couldn't help. How about, oh, well, I had a really good friend, but then they just kind of ghosted me. I thought I could depend on them, but there they went. And I don't know how to change them. I don't know how to get them back. I don't know how to appease them. You can't help that. We cannot change what other people do. That was not our choice. That was their choice. The only thing we can control, the only thing we can take personal responsibility for is our own reaction to that. That's a hard one. That is it's a hard one to recognize sometimes when we have play in something and when it's beyond our own control. What we are in control of is our own actions and our own reactions. Let me use an example. I figure that we have been able to send spaceships to Mars and take detailed photographs all over the planet with the little rovers crawling around. We have created telescopes that look to the edges of the universe. Why can we not develop a device that we put our clothes in to wash? It washes them, it dries them, it folds them or hangs them just the way we like them, and they show up back in our closet and we don't have to do it. And yeah, well, sometimes I just dread for some reason going and bending over, pulling the clothes out of the dryer, spreading them out, hanging them up, carrying them to the closet. I mean, how simple can it be? Have running water in my home. I have a washer and dryer in my home. I don't have to go to the laundromat or the laundry room. It's so simple, but some days it just feels overwhelming. Like, yeah, my clothes are wrinkled, but I just couldn't go get them out of the dryer and hang them up. That's pretty pitiful, isn't it? Yeah. Have you heard the phrase procrastinator? A procrastinator is a person who puts something off without a really good reason until it's right at the deadline of getting something done, past the deadline, just puts it off. Well, I personally put the pro in the word procrastinator. I am a professional at it. I am also a wonderful rationalizer. To give a rationalization is to make an excuse for something. Oops, wiggled the camera. Make an excuse for something when really there's no good excuse. And if you're ever running short on coming up with excuses, just contact me. I guarantee you I can come up with a good rationalization for you. I can make an excuse for anyone, for anything. I'm just gifted at that, as opposed to getting up off my backside, walking around to the dryer, getting the clothes out and getting them hung or folded and put up, sometimes in the same day. Personal responsibility. So today I'm going to make an attempt at improving my self-responsibility for my health. I'm going to head out to the local Lowe's Home Improvement store and do my walk. Minimum of 45 minutes. Get the blood flow circulating to my lower legs because it's good for me. It is my health, no one else's. It is my responsibility to do something so simple as taking care of myself. We'll talk more later about why is it so hard to do that habitually? What does it take to make a good habit of taking personal responsibility? What are examples of the many things we can do to take responsibility, ownership of our own lives? When we do take that personal responsibility, that personal ownership, then we can also take the pride and the credit for our lives being better. Sounds good. I mean, I meant to get up early this morning. Instead, I woke up after lunch. But I can't change that now, but I can make the afternoon and the evening better by getting up and by moving. But before I go, I've got to remind you, the same creator that created heaven and earth, all the trees, every little cell on this earth, also felt it necessary to create you. Your creator loves you. You are important. This world needs you here. Remember that. You are loved. You are important. That's all you need to know. Hang in there. I will catch up with you later, and we'll continue talking about personal responsibility and how I'm going to get back in the habit of blasting myself off of my chair and doing more things that's good for me. I hope you'll do something good for you today. Give yourself a big ol' hug, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.